The attack came from an unexpected direction. Amara woke to her phone exploding with notifications. A news article. Viral. Everywhere. Billionaire's deadly romance. Was Okafor's doctor boyfriend responsible for multiple deaths? The article was detailed. Horrifying. It claimed that Adekunle hadn't just killed Senator Namdi's daughter, he'd been involved in 3 other patient deaths before that. Malpractice. Negligence. A pattern of recklessness. It's not true, Adekunle said, reading over her shoulder. His face had gone pale. None of this is true. I know. No, Amara, you don't understand. These cases, I never worked on any of these patients. I wasn't even in the same hospital when these surgeries happened. She looked at the article again. The details were specific. Names. Dates. Medical records. Fabricated, but convincing. The senator, she said. His manufacturing evidence. It's worse than that. Adekunle pointed to the byline. Look who wrote it. Amara's blood ran cold. Chioma Nwosu. Her former assistant. No, she whispered. Chioma wouldn't. But even as she said it, she knew the truth. Chioma had access to everything. Her schedule. Her contacts. Her relationship with Adekunle. She'd been the leak all along. Amara immediately called her. Hello, Amara. Chioma's voice was cool. Professional. As if they were discussing meeting times instead of betrayal. Why? Why what? Don't play games with me, Chioma. Why did you do this? A pause. Then, because you chose him over everything that mattered. What are you talking about? I worked for you for 3 years, Amara. 3 years. I was loyal. Efficient. Perfect. And you barely noticed I existed. That's not true. It is true. I was nothing to you. Just another employee. Another piece of furniture. But then this nobody comes into your life, and suddenly you're willing to throw away everything. For him. What about the people who actually stood by you? Chioma, I'm sorry if you felt overlooked, but that doesn't justify. Justify? Let me tell you what justifies it. Senator Namdi offered me 2 million naira to keep him informed about your activities. To report on your relationship. To help build a case against your boyfriend. Amara felt sick. You sold me out for money. No. I sold you out because you became everything I hated. Another rich person who thinks love matters more than loyalty. More than duty. You disappointed me, Amara. So I made a choice. A choice to destroy an innocent man's life. Innocent? Chioma laughed bitterly. No one in this world is innocent. Especially not Dr. Adeyemi. He made his choices. Now he lives with them. And what about your choices, Chioma? I'll live with mine just fine. Goodbye, Amara. The line went dead. Amara stared at her phone, hands shaking. She was the mole, Adekunle said quietly. The entire time. I trusted her. I brought her into my world, into my confidence. And she betrayed you. Just like everyone else in your life seems determined to do. The bitterness in his voice cut through her shock. What's that supposed to mean? It means maybe your mother was right. Maybe your father was right. Maybe this whole thing was a mistake from the beginning. Don't say that. Why not? It's true, isn't it? Look at what's happened since we met. You lost your company. Your family. Your friends. And now fake medical records are circulating that will destroy any chance I ever had of redemption. We'll fight this. We'll prove the records are false. How? The senator controls the media. He controls the narrative. By tomorrow, everyone in Nigeria will believe I'm a serial killer in a white coat. Then we leave Nigeria. Adekunle stared at her. What? We leave. Start over somewhere else. London. New York. Dubai. Anywhere but here. Run away? Is that your solution? It's called strategic retreat. It's called giving up. He stood, pacing her living room. I won't do it, Amara. I won't run from this man. I won't let him win. He's already won. Can't you see that? He has more power, more money, more connections. We can't beat him. So we just surrender? Let him destroy both our lives. We save what we can and build something new. Adekunle stopped pacing. Looked at her with an expression she'd never seen before. Disappointment. I thought you were different, he said quietly. I thought you were the one person who wouldn't give up when things got hard. I'm not giving up. I'm being realistic. You're being a coward. The word hit like a physical blow. How dare you? How dare I? How dare you? You stood in that boardroom and lectured them about integrity. About principles. About doing what's right even when it's hard. And now, the moment it gets truly difficult, you want to run. I want to protect us. By hiding? By letting the senator win? By abandoning everyone else he'll hurt in the future? What do you want from me, Adekunle? I've lost everything for you. No. You lost everything for yourself. Because deep down, you wanted an escape from your life. And I was convenient. The silence that followed was deafening. Is that what you think? Amara's voice was barely a whisper. That you were convenient. Adekunle's face crumbled. I don't know what I think anymore. I'm angry. I'm scared. I'm tired of being the reason your life is falling apart. You're not the reason. They are. The senator. My family. The people who value power over humanity. And you want to let them win. I want to survive. Survival isn't enough, Amara. Not for me. Not anymore. He grabbed his jacket. Where are you going? I don't know. Somewhere I can think. Somewhere I'm not a burden. You're not a... But he was already gone. The door closed. And Amara stood alone in her penthouse, surrounded by everything she'd built, feeling emptier than when she had nothing. 3 days passed. 3 days of silence. Adekunle didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't come back. Amara threw herself into fighting the false allegations. Her lawyers filed defamation suits. Demanded retractions. Called for investigations. But the damage was done. Public opinion had turned completely. The man who'd been painted as a hero for saving a poor child was now seen as a dangerous charlatan who'd fooled a billionaire. And Amara. Amara was the foolish woman who'd fallen for it. The narrative was complete. On the 4th day, Amara received a letter. Hand-delivered. No return address. She opened it with trembling hands. Amara. I'm sorry for what I said. You're not a coward. You're the bravest person I've ever met. But I've been thinking, and I've come to a realization. As long as I'm in your life, you'll never be free. The senator will keep attacking. Your family will keep pressuring you. Your world will keep trying to force you back into the box you've spent your whole life trying to escape. I love you. God knows I love you more than I've ever loved anything. But love isn't always enough. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do for someone is let them go. I'm leaving Lagos. Where, I don't know yet. But I need you to promise me something. Don't try to find me. Don't waste any more of your precious life on someone who can't give you what you deserve. You deserve happiness, Amara. Real happiness. The kind that doesn't come with constant battle scars. Find it. Even if it's not with me. Forever yours. Adekunle. The letter fell from her hands. He was gone. Really gone. And with him went the only real thing in her life. Amara didn't cry. She was past crying. Instead, she did what Okafors had done for generations when faced with loss. She got angry. And she started planning. Because Adekunle was wrong about one thing. She wasn't ready to give up. Not on him. Not on justice. Not on anything. The senator wanted war? Fine. She'd give him a war. But first, she needed to know the truth. The whole truth. About what really happened the night the senator's daughter died. And she knew exactly where to start looking. The nurse's name was Blessing Okonkwo. Amara found her working the night shift at a small private clinic in Surulere, far from the prestigious hospitals where she'd once been employed. "I don't want to talk about that night," Blessing said immediately when Amara approached her. "Please. 5 minutes. You don't understand. I signed a non-disclosure agreement. If I say anything, I lose my license. You already lost your license, didn't you? That's why you're working here instead of at LUTH." Blessing's eyes widened. "How did you?" "I did my research. You were the head surgical nurse that night. You were in the operating room when Senator Namdi's daughter died. And 6 months later, you were quietly fired. Not fired. Encouraged to resign. By whom? By people who made it clear that my career would be over if I didn't keep quiet about what I saw." "What did you see, Blessing?" The nurse looked around nervously, even though the clinic was nearly empty at this hour. "Not here. Too many eyes." They met an hour later at a small booker in Yaba, tucked away from prying eyes. Over plates of rice and stew that neither of them touched, Blessing finally spoke. "Dr. Adeyemi didn't kill that girl," she said quietly. "She was already dead when we brought her into the operating room." Amara's heart stopped. "What?" "The senator's daughter, Chidinma, she was DOA. Dead on arrival. But the senator wouldn't accept it. He demanded we operate. Said we had to save her no matter what. But if she was already dead..." Dr. Adeyemi knew. We all knew. But the senator was there with his security. With his threats. Dr. Adeyemi tried to explain that it was too late, that the injuries from the crash were too severe. The senator wouldn't listen. Blessing's hand shook as she continued. "The other patient, the vendor's son, he was critical but savable. Dr. Adeyemi made the call to try to save the life that could be saved. He told me to prep the boy while he tried once more to reason with the senator. And the senator threw him out of the room. Literally had his security guards remove him. Then he ordered the other surgeon on duty, Dr. Okoli, to operate on Chidinma. The senator's daughter was already dead, but they operated anyway." Blessing nodded miserably. Dr. Okoli went through the motions. Opened her up. Pretended to try to resuscitate her. But it was theater. She'd been dead for at least 20 minutes by then. And the boy. Dr. Adeyemi operated on him in the other theater. Saved his life. He was brilliant that night, Amara. Absolutely brilliant. But while he was fighting to save one patient, Dr. Okoli was pretending to save another. And when Chidinma was officially pronounced dead, the senator needed someone to blame. So he blamed Adekunle. Not just blamed. Destroyed. Dr. Okoli testified that Dr. Adeyemi had refused to operate on Chidinma out of spite. That he was reckless and arrogant. That he'd chosen a nobody over a senator's daughter. Why would Dr. Okoli lie? Because the senator owns him. Dr. Okoli's private practice is funded by the senator's family. His children go to schools paid for by the senator. His entire life is built on that man's patronage. Amara felt rage building in her chest. "And you said nothing." "I tried." Blessing's voice cracked. "I tried to tell the truth at the inquiry. But before I could testify, I was called into a meeting with the hospital administrator. They showed me documents, photos, evidence that I'd been stealing medication from the hospital pharmacy. Fabricated evidence. Of course it was fabricated. But it was convincing. They told me I could either sign the NDA and resign quietly, or they'd prosecute me for theft. I'd go to prison. My family would be ruined. Tears streamed down her face now. I'm a coward. I know I'm a coward. I let a good man be destroyed because I was afraid. And I've hated myself every day since. Amara reached across the table and took her hand. You're not a coward. You're a survivor. But Blessing, I need your help now. I need you to testify to what really happened. They'll destroy me. They've already destroyed you. What's left to lose? Blessing looked at her for a long moment. Everything. My current job. My reputation. My family's safety. I can protect you. Can you? Can you really? The senator has destroyed everyone who's ever stood against him. You lost your company. Dr. Adeyemi lost everything. What makes you think you can protect me? Because I'm not afraid anymore. You should be. Probably. But I'm done letting fear make my decisions. Blessing wiped her eyes, considering. If I testify, if I tell the truth, you have to promise me something. Anything. Promise me it will matter. Promise me that this time, the truth will actually win. Amara wished she could make that promise. But she'd learned enough about the world to know that truth didn't always triumph. I can't promise that, she admitted. But I can promise I'll fight with everything I have. Blessing laughed bitterly. That's what Dr. Adeyemi said too. And look where it got him. She stood up to leave. Then stopped. Turned back. There's something else you should know. Something about that night that even Dr. Adeyemi doesn't know. What? The vendor's son, the boy he saved, his name was Tunde Beggar. The name meant nothing to Amara. So, Tunde Beggar is now one of the youngest tech entrepreneurs in Nigeria. He just sold his startup for $40 million. Amara's eyes widened. The boy Dr. Adeyemi saved, he became a millionaire. And he doesn't know. No one told him. The senator made sure that part of the story stayed buried. Can't have people thinking the street kid was worth saving, can we? Blessing pulled out her phone and showed Amara a photo. A young man in an expensive suit, smiling at a tech conference. Confident. Successful. Alive. That's what Dr. Adeyemi's choice gave the world, Blessing said softly. A brilliant young man who's now employing hundreds of people. Who's innovating? Who's changing lives? Does Tunde know who saved him? No. And the senator made sure he never would. Part of the cover-up was erasing Dr. Adeyemi from all the official records. As far as Tunde knows, he was saved by an anonymous team of doctors. Amara stared at the photo. An idea was forming. Dangerous. Risky. But possible. Blessing, I need one more thing from you. What? Tunde Beggar's contact information. Finding Tunde was easy. Convincing him to meet her was harder. But Amara could be very persuasive when she wanted to be. They met at a cafe in Lekki, modern and sleek, full of the young, successful crowd Tunde now belonged to. He was younger than Amara expected. 24, maybe 25. Sharp eyes. Designer clothes. The confidence of someone who'd made it against all odds. Ms. Okafor, he said, shaking her hand. I have to admit, I'm curious why a billionaire wants to meet with me. Although I heard you're not a billionaire anymore. News travels fast. In tech circles, everything travels fast. He leaned back in his chair. So what's this about? It's about the night you almost died. His expression shifted. The car accident. You remember it. Not much. I was only 9. I remember the crash. Waking up in the hospital weeks later. My mother crying. The doctor said it was a miracle I survived. It wasn't a miracle. It was a choice. She told him everything. About Adekunle. About the senator's daughter. About the impossible decision made in the space of seconds. About how Adekunle chose to save Tunde's life, knowing it would cost him everything. Tunde listened in silence, his coffee growing cold in front of him. When she finished, he didn't speak for a full minute. My life, he said finally, was considered less valuable than a senator's daughter. By most people, yes. But not by Dr. Adeyemi. No. Not by him. And he lost everything. His career. His reputation. His entire life. Because he saved mine. Yes. Tunde's jaw clenched. Where is he now? I don't know. He left Lagos. He thought staying would only hurt me more. He sounds like an idiot. Despite everything, Amara smiled. He is. But he's my idiot. Tunde pulled out his phone. I need to make some calls. To whom? Everyone. The media. My investors. Every connection I have. This story needs to be told. The real story. Not the senator's lies. The senator will come after you. Let him. I'm not a poor street kid anymore. I have resources. Lawyers. Influence. And I owe my entire life to the man he destroyed. He stood up. Ms. Okafor, I'm going to help you. Not just because it's the right thing to do. But because if Dr. Adeyemi hadn't valued my life, I wouldn't be here. And I refuse to let his sacrifice be for nothing. For the first time in weeks, Amara felt something that might have been hope. The story broke 3 days later. Not in traditional media, the senator controlled most of that. But in tech blogs. On social media. In forums and platforms the senator couldn't touch. The doctor who chose principle over power, the true story of Dr. Adekunle Adeyemi. Tunde Bekar's own account. His platform. His millions of followers. He told everything. His survival. His success. His debt to a man the world had forgotten. And then he made an offer. I am personally funding a $1 million reward for any information leading to the full exoneration of Dr. Adekunle Adeyemi. Additionally, I am offering him a position as Chief Medical Officer of my new healthcare tech company. It's time we stopped punishing heroes and started celebrating them. The post went viral. Within hours, it had millions of views. Within days, other voices joined in. Former patients of Adekunle's. Medical students he'd mentored. Nurses who'd worked with him. All telling the same story: Dr. Adeyemi was brilliant, principled, and unjustly destroyed. The narrative was shifting. Slowly. Painfully slowly. But it was shifting. Senator Namdi's response was swift and vicious. He went on national television, tears in his eyes, talking about his dead daughter. These people want to profit from my pain, he said. They want to rewrite history to make a killer into a hero. I won't allow it. Chidinma deserves justice. But for the first time, people weren't automatically believing him. Comment sections filled with questions. Why hasn't there been a proper investigation? Why are the medical records sealed? What is the senator hiding? The pressure was building. And then, the unexpected happened. Dr. Okoli, the surgeon who had lied at the inquiry, had a heart attack. Not fatal, but severe enough to put him in intensive care. And from his hospital bed, facing his own mortality, he made a decision. He called a press conference and told the truth.